This is my dog, Mr. P. He's pretty happy. Here we are on a boat watching the sunset together out in the middle of the bay. I think he's pretty happy because his basic needs are being met. He's got plenty of food, he's got great shelter, lots of time to play and run around, lots of love in his life. Some would say he's living life to its fullest. Financial stability allows for us to provide for the basic needs of ourselves, the basic needs of our families. Financial empowerment is about taking control of our finances and not being controlled by them. Financial empowerment is not about how much money you have or how much money you don't have. It's about choices. How do we use our choices to create that stability in our lives to meet our basic needs? As an affordable housing developer for the past 25 years, I also believe that simple, decent, and affordable housing provides for that stability in our lives on which we can build and grow. I think back to some basic psychology that most of us learned in grade school. If you recall Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you picture with me a large triangle. And at the base of that triangle are basic human needs: shelter, warmth, food. And in the middle of the triangle are our psychological needs: feeling a sense of belonging, a sense of appreciation. And at the pinnacle of that triangle is our self-actualization, fulfilling our whole purpose. And the basic concept here is that you have to address your needs at the bottom of the triangle. Those basic human needs have to be addressed before you can build on them and achieve above. Financial stability allows for us to provide that foundation. I dedicate my life to helping others build strength, stability, and self-reliance. I've done this for many years through housing, through building homes and repairing homes, so that folks can have that stability in their lives on which to build, on which to achieve those higher level of needs in their lives. So if you recall with me, about 8 years ago, we had this financial recession in our society. And over those years, I started to witness that in our small towns, in our communities, the level of vacant and abandoned homes was starting to increase and increase. As we drove around town, you could see that postings and doors and windows started to pop up on a lot of our structures. If you walked up to those doors and those windows, you'd see the posting that said condemned. Or it said that this house has been winterized by the bank. Or that it was scheduled for demolition. So our position as an affordable home builder, we started to ask ourselves, what role do we have, not just in helping an individual or a family with a house or a repair, but what role do we have in this society to help revitalize entire communities? How can we use our position to address that need? And about a year ago, we learned about a financial empowerment program, Stand By Me. We embraced it and adopted it and said, with this resource, in addition to what we do with building and repairing homes, we can now offer financial empowerment opportunities to an entire community. So we started to offer workshops to anyone in the community who wanted to take advantage of this resource. We started to do workshops not just with individuals, but with entire families. Workshops for children, for adults, to help them see that they can be a resource in their own community to improve their own situation. We started to see this momentum build. You could see a sense of hope physical repairs, physically improving the infrastructure of a community through homes, seeing their neighbors become homeowners for the first time, and through the financial empowerment opportunities that were there, people could sense a sense of hope was being developed. We started working with community leaders to build trust within the neighborhood through a series of activities, just as simple as a neighborhood cleanup and bringing people together. We called them dumpster days, and people would come out and fill dumpsters to physically clean up their neighborhood. We started a series of high-impact, low-cost, volunteer-intensive gatherings to work on addressing whole blocks at a time. We called it Rock the Block. All these elements coming together with the baseline of financial stability, that people could start to look at their resources differently, that people could control their financial situation and not be controlled by it, are starting to have an impact in these communities that we're focused on at this time. I believe that through this experience and what we're seeing is that financial empowerment is an essential tool in the toolbox of neighborhood revitalization. So I ask you to think about, how can you use financial empowerment? How do you see financial empowerment, the creation of that stability in one's life, to revitalize your community, whatever that means to you in your situation? How can you help create that stability in someone else's life? How can you create the doggy effect in someone else's life so they have the stability to become active, productive members of their own community?